I must say I love druids this season. They're absolutely amazing. Let's have a look at them. I will start with the stats, and then with the talents. After priority, rotation, gameplay, however you want to call it, and sum it a little bit up. After that, cooldowns, and on the last things, how to do a little bit of damage or a lot of damage, as you want, as you wish. So let's start with the stats. If you are just gearing your shiny druid, well, definitely haste. Doesn't matter what they're doing. Oh, in raid not. We are talking about M+ here. All guy is about M+. So definitely full haste. Haste is our best stat. Even you're focusing on damage, you are focusing on healing. Haste is your best friend. Then if you are just gearing your druid, or you are just, I don't know, not professional player, you are just learning the class, it's good to go Master Reader. It's really helping. It's almost useless in raid, but it's very strong in the dungeons. What is Mastery doing? Mastery is increasing your healing to that target, depending on how many healing overtime effects you have. And you have a lot of them on druid. And the Life Bloom, there's count for that. Where is it? Here. It's counting 3 stacks. So just keep in mind. More hots, that mean if you are immense power growth, it's increasing our healing. So when you not feeling comfortable with your druid, go for the haste mastery, because that is best for your healing in the dungeons. And then critical versa depends on your choosing. What is your favorite? If you have still some old set pieces from season 1, critical is better than versatility. So if you want to go higher keys, you need to pump more damage, you need to think about defensives and stuff, so mastery is going lower. Obviously keep some mastery if you want to heal. It's a little bit better masteries than other healers have, so into M+ content, so it's quite useful. But definitely you are going haste as the best stat and versatility, and then critical if more for damage, or mastery if more for healing, and obviously the critical is then the last one. But full damage or full big boy, and I'm saying I didn't need more healing, everything is good, so it's definitely you are going haste, then versa, then critical, and lasting mastery. That should be 0 if you are focusing on being big boy. That is healing enough. So for the healing, haste, mastery, and the same level, critical versa, more crit if you are old set, and big boy is going haste, versatility, critical mastery, or mastery critical. Again, your choice. Because I've seen some people doing very high keys and they still had some 2000 mastery, so I guess it's worth it. Or maybe it's not just on our set pieces. Yeah, there's some mastery. Not so much though. So that was stat wise. Let's hop on the talents. I have prepared some basic thingy. Rather, this one is a little bit more basic. If you want these talents, I will link import string under the video. From the right tree, it's just don't change it if you are not sure. Most of the druids are playing the same thing. There's little changes, but this is definitely a good one, and most people are playing the same one. On left tree, there's obviously many choices because there's utilities. So something you could think about is definitely hibernate. If you have the affix you need to control, so you know this, the fears, hibernate, anything, repentance from paladins and things like that. That's definitely must need. You just need this in the affix. There is another nice thing is Typhoon, Penguin. That's usually why you're wearing. And if you need more control, it's, you don't really want to have interrupt because it's down here, so it's interrupt and cast, so you can use it as that. Also more extra speed if you fancy. When you want some extra points, you can sacrifice this one. Is poison and cures, so it's only needed in Uldaman and Nautarus, that's cures, and poison in holes. and not only layers, and that's for other 4 dungeons. You don't really need this talent. Obviously you need it for another affix that you need to dispel, and because just magic dispel is not enough, and our dispel is only magic by default, so then you need to take this talent. And also Star Switch, if you want a little bit more extra damage, or Rake, if you want a little bit more extra damage. Obviously these are single target spells, so a little bit better for Tyrannical, but it doesn't matter. I'm using Star Switch quite often, and it's nice even on AoE, just blast it on cooldown as instant. And another point you can take from here, because it's definitely, usually 1 stack is enough. It's not even like 50% increase, it's just shorter cooldown by 30 seconds, but you shouldn't be dying more often than 120 seconds. If you are dying more often, maybe you should heal more. Oh, it's definitely worth it, but you know, damage is damage. All you need utility is definitely, you will take utility, and you will help with Sanguine much more than this will help for your survival. You need to think about whole team, about whole dungeon. So that's from talent. Obviously you can go ham on the cat part, but I want to give guys on that. It's a little bit a niche tactic, I would say, and most people are playing with something like this. Healing, priorities, rotation, whatever, call it whatever. It's on Druid. It was really hard to put it down. First I'm preparing guide in the text, then I'm recording video, and in Druid there's so many things that are happening around us that depend what we are clicking first, which spell we are using, our mind heal, and it usually depends like how much time we have before damage come, on how much we will need to heal, and how many targets we need to heal, and things like that. So we are preparing for damage, or we need to be prepared, or damage is already happening and we are not prepared, so we need to use something in not correct order, but we don't have time to do correct order. So it's everything you need to think about. So don't think about this, oh, this spell I mentioned first one and I told you to use it first. It's, you need to experiment a little bit. I will link some videos as I'm under this video that I'm playing with, so you can check there on the right side. You can see here, you can see what abilities I'm casting on which targets, so you can check a little bit in which direction I'm reacting, which abilities and which order. But let's try to a little bit explain, rather to explain when to use the spells and for what reason to use that spells, than like some order that I'm usually doing, like priorities. This spell you should use first when damage is coming. It's a little bit harder on it. So definitely we are starting from Adaptive Swarm. I definitely recommend have some Vigil, something that is tracking. In dungeon I have some shiny Vigil that is showing me where to use it, so I don't need to think about it. It's not perfect, but when you need to heal a lot, you don't want to check who got less stacks, or just zoom it with your eyes, so it's doing for you. So I think I will link that Vigil too in my guide. Would be very useful. It's a very good thing. It's playing for you. You don't need to check that. It's showing you shiny frame where you need to click your flies. And so on the flies, always on the cooldown. You should always use it on cooldown, and don't really use it when you need to burst heal, because it's too late. It should be always prepared when damage is happening. I also figure out that this makes sound when it's ready. Start will be shiny, so I know I need to kill flies. Why so important on the flies? They are very cheap on mana. They will do I have some? Too bad I don't have any blocks from dungeons. They are doing decent damage, they are doing decent healing, they are counting extra hot for your mastery, so it's increasing healing from other spells. And there's another amazing thing, where is it? I don't want to say wrong percentage. And increasing effectiveness of your periodic effects on them. So our heals are 20% more effective, or our damage is 20% effective. So this is just 20% buff. So we want to just have it spread on our group, and just have flies ready when he's heavy AoE coming, because you are healing more on that target. It's 20% increase. It's huge. And obviously he's healing on his own. I don't have any healing done because this is just working funny on these dummies. You never know. which number is correct. So we have Fly's spread, then it's our absolutely a beast. It's our live bloom. What we are doing with live bloom, there's lots of effect, there's lots of lore about it. But basically we want to live bloom on 2 targets. Usually they are getting most of the damage. And often one target is tank and second target is some damager. That's the best thing you can do. There are some effects on live bloom. Photosynthesis talents is giving that. And we really care in raid. We always have live bloom on ourselves because it's 20% faster healing from our periodic heals. So mean that our hordes are faster. But in dungeon we don't care about that, because in dungeon we are healing through verdancy. That means that 3 targets in your circle will get healed by 15,000 when live bloom blooms. And when is live bloom blooming? Live bloom is blooming on the end of the duration. If you check the description, it's healing blah 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 over 12 seconds, and when live bloom expires or is dispelled, target is instantly healed by 23. And that is what the game is saying, like bloom. That's mean when live bloom blooms, bloom is the last big healing. But a ton of photosynthesis is saying while your live bloom is on ally, your periodic heals on them have 4% chance to cause into bloom. And this is our like basic healing rotation, basic healing combo we are doing in M+ dungeons. We don't want to have live bloom ourselves. It's a nice buff, but we want it to bloom, and it cannot bloom on ourselves. It needs to be on some other target. And that's why we are not prioritizing ourselves for Nixar healing, because we want blooms from there. So we are choosing other target. And when there is heavy AoE damage, I'm not giving it to tank, because on tank is definitely not dying for AoE. He's dying for some single tank hits and frontals and things like that. So I really like to use it on 2 damagers. And I really often is using on 2 ranged damagers. If I have 2 ranged, I know they won't be standing in my circle very often. And I put circle on the melee. And there is like tank, 1 melee, and me. That's 3 targets for their analysis. That's perfect. The ranged are getting a huge healing from the live bloom itself. It's blooming on them. That's a huge heal. It's absolutely worth a huge heal when it got bloom. And that bloom is healing 3 targets, because Verdance is healing just 3 targets. So we are 3 of them. 1 melee, 1 tank, 1 me. Because I'm healer and obviously I'm standing in my circle because I want to be healed. I'm thinking about that, not thinking about parrying damage. I'm thinking about parrying damage, but yeah. So that's why we are using not on ourselves. Usually tank some damage, and if there is some AoE, just use it on 2 damagers, like a dragon in Vortex Spinal Column 45. That's huge AoE damage, just use it on 2 damagers. Tank should be alright. Obviously it's hurting him too, but it's tank, so it's hurting much less, and that dragon is not giving something abilities that he really needs to care about. Also on live bloom, when it's expiring, it's automatic bloom, so we can just a little bit try to time it. Damage is coming in 13 seconds, I will cast live blooms and it will explode. In burst healing even from bloom and from verdancy too at the same moment, so you can plan it, but you need a little bit practice to really just hit that is 12.8 seconds. You need a little bit practice to know how to time perfectly, but it's something to work by. When you refresh live bloom when it's on 3 or 4 seconds, it will bloom anyway. So don't worry about that. So don't think about, oh, there's more seconds I need to leave it, so it blooms. No. You can restack on last few seconds and it will still bloom. That is very nice and quite important thing to know. And because we want to bloom the live blooms, I really love, I will say it so many times, still the live bloom, and it's funny to say it together. You want to place as many healing over time on the target. So when I'm placing, I should have some set focus. Okay. I didn't have it prepared. I don't want to make it bigger. It's good enough. So let's put live bloom on these 2. Not just 2 live blooms. This is another, because it's healing over time. Spring Blossom, I'm getting another healing over time, Cultivation, because they are always under 60%. So now, there, look at this, Verdancy is absolutely huge. Swarm is somehow still healing, I think it's just from previous heals. So that means when we don't need to heal much, but still we need to heal, well, this icon is too huge for that. You are putting everything there, and just look at this. It's just blooming. Not much. I was so unlucky. Yeah, it's bloom now. It's 21 hits. Another bloom. 24. That was end of the duration. Right. Yeah, hold for a second, don't watch it. But this is scuffed on these dummies. It's always some crazy number, you know, reading per second. So something about that. This life bloom, it's two parts. One part is this is 80 hits. That means this is healing over time. And look at this. The blooms healed more than actual healing over time of life bloom. And it was 11 hits. I used life bloom 4 times and I got 11 blooms. So that means more than twice per man cast. And this is Verdancy, and that's our absolutely pump, and that's why it's so important to stand in the circle of Druid. It's also important because the circle is obviously healing, but then there is also another hot that is healing, but that hot is counting to your mastery, and that hot is even counting to your life bloom that can bloom. And in that circle is spreading Verdancy. So there was not more important on any healer to stand in the circle like Healing Rain and the Shaman. It's really important. If you are a damager and tank and you are for some reason watching these guys stand in the circle, please. It's so huge for the Druid. And this is like your basic one in the dungeon. I'm not talking about every single spell like usual, but I think this is much more important to understand about to heal. So we have already flies spread. That's another hot that can bloom, life bloom. Very important even for that. Then we have life blooms on 2 targets. Then obviously we are following with the circle. I think I said everything already with the circle. It's very strong with the life blooms because Verdancy is in the circle. So we always put circle under the group because life blooms are blooming. So rather to be ready and catch that heal. It's even good for healing single target because that overheal we will do the Druid. It's insane. And when I'm healing with, I don't know, Shaman, I will check some overhealing end of dungeon. Ooh, God boost, 25%. Ooh, that's quite a lot. Ooh, chain. Ooh, 4%. Ah, nice. Not overhealing much. And then I will check on Druid. And first ability, 60% overheal. Second ability, 55% overheal, and things like that. Druid have a lot of overheals, so just even when it's not huge damage, if you get life blooms on the targets, 5 spread and circle under the group, you are healing a lot. I don't know how many, like 60 health per second you can do just from that. It's funny. Druid healing potential is so huge. Alright, we have flies, we have life blooms, we have circle. Then is important scenario art because it's really cheap and it's healing fast a lot. And Druid healing is not really like healing fast. You need to prepare lots of abilities. So this is nice when some single target damages pop up. Just place it by high priority because it's healing a lot and it's cheap. Another hot and it's waiting for the damage. So you know, just place it on target. It's 30 seconds. It's just waiting. After that, it will heal in 7 seconds. Quite a lot. 12,000 every 1.3 seconds. Not bad. Alright. Then we have Regrowth. Regrowth is a little bit more difficult to explain. Obviously, Regrowth is our spam ability. Somebody's dying. Single target, mirror blasting. Classic use of Regrowth as our best panic spam on single target. But obviously, master is mastery and stuff is like it is. It's best to have some hots on the target anyway, because then regular healing is faster, stronger. It's even healing more the initial heal. The master is increasing any heal, but master is just from healing over time. so think about that. But other uses are, I usually always use it on clearcast. You can see it. That's its default wizard. Maybe you then have something different. But when we are getting it, it's 4% chance, I think. 4% chance when Life Bloom is healing. That's another reason why I have always Life Bloom ready. Then we have this clear casting. That's our next regrowth is costing no mana. That is saying loads more mana. Where is it? Oh, it's default. Show me your mana. It's not showing because it's clear cast now. 8,500. That's quite a lot of mana. But when you have clear cast, obviously use it when somebody's dying. And it's nice, even if nobody's dying and damage is coming. Just use it on some target that doesn't have Life Bloom. If you have Life Bloom out, and use it on the target, the regrowth is spread. Sorry, it's really stupid because I didn't extend it in the bars, but yeah, I have some bad settings on our second table, as you can see. So it will spread on our 2 targets. And why is that important? Because it's blooming Life Bloom. It's another healing over time. So if you are clear casting, it's costing you no mana, and damage is coming, and that will just secure another hot on the Life Bloom targets and on the 3rd target. And also Life Bloom regrowth healing over time is not so bad right now, because even 2 sets we have is increasing healing over time by 50%. There's another talent that we had already. Where is it? Yeah, because we need to have these talents to regrowth to spread on other targets, and this is increasing another 50%. So that means we already have 100% increased regrowth healing over time, so it's not healing that bad. So it's even worth as healing over time effect to spread on 3 targets. But obviously best value is to just bloom the Life Bloom. Next one is Rejuvenation. We are not spamming it as often as in Raid. We are using a little bit less, but still is very important ability. The most important role for Rejuvenation is obviously what? It's extra heal. Extra healing over time to our Life Bloom. To do what? To allow will to bloom. Look at this. Oh. What? Oh, because I'm still in the same pool. I didn't reset. So, best use. You have Life Blooms ready. You cast it. Your clear cast regrowth. Okay, clear cast is done. You will do this. I'm just waiting for the yummy blooms. It bloomed just twice extra. 2 extra blooms, but you know, cannot be lucky on everything. 9 hits. What? Doesn't make sense. That means bloom trick. These dummies are weird. Some abilities it's one ability is saying it's bloom 3 times, other ability is saying it bloom 4 times. Who knows? Maybe it bloom before I place the circle on the ground. That makes sense. So that's extra hot on target with Life Blooms. It's extra hot for mastery. Also nice thingy. And usually when somebody's dying a lot, some targets they usually should have Life Bloom because that's a huge heal. So we're just pumping other hots on them. Just, you know, single target. As many hots on them, that means all regrowths will be pumping 81,000. That's huge for single target as Druid. Obviously, you are blooming and things like that. Another use of Rejuvenation is to put it on as many targets as possible. It's when you have nothing else to do, everything is on cooldown, you have Life Blooms up, you have Wild Growth up. We didn't talk about Wild Growth yet, so let's wait for that one. And you need still more healing. You are clicking Rejuvenation, or you don't have any cooldowns ready. No foliage, no combo, stuff like that, and huge AoE damage is coming. Just spread these Rejuvenations to be ready for the damage. It's something extra you can do while there's no damage happening to be prepared more for the burst AoE healing. So the last ability for healing, Wild Growth. Wild Growth is a huge pump. It's one of the top spells like for healing over time, or rather HPS in your logs. You check the dungeons. And when we are using it, obviously, for AoE damage. How we want to use it? Obviously. No, this is not very obviously. We want to use it after we use Swiftman. Why? Swiftman, obviously. I said obviously too much. Swiftman is good single target heal, obviously. And we have Soul of the Forest. Everybody have it. And it's increasing our next heal, like single target regrowth rejuvenation 150, AoE, our build growth 50%. And it's have a little bit longer cooldown, it's 15 seconds, while growth is 10 seconds. So you usually want to use it almost always with the wild growth. So you eat some hot. You want to eat some hot that is on some target that is dying the most, because that ability will heal anyway. How much is healing? Instantly for 54,000. And then 22,000 over time, so it's another hot. Something a little extra. You will eat one while the target will get one. Best to eat is a regrowth one, because it's the weakest one. Or even you can eat the wild growth when it's on the end. It's also good. Anything that is ending is best to eat. But you can just click any target that has some hot on them. It doesn't matter. You just want to get your bonus fast. It will give them some healing, so it's not so much loss. It cannot heal Life Bloom, so it's also not so lost because Life Bloom is the best and you don't want to eat that. So just click it on somewhere. That extra heal is nice and it will be empower for your wild growth. And you want to follow that wild growth with some cooldown, so Flourish, Convoke, whatever, because you want Flourish from Convoke. So definitely more AoE healing is required. You are going for wild growth, empowered by Soul of the Forest when you clicked on some target, Swiftment. Because a lot of your AoE healing, as I said already, is just 2 Life Blooms, having hots on them, and that is pumping so much on AoE. Everything is just jump punk, Verdancy is pumping. So if this is not enough, then we are going for wild growth. I don't know how much health per second is pump. You can target with that because obviously it's not 30 million health per second. I didn't even heal 30 million. These dummies are weird. Maybe I need to be on combat with some other dummy, but whatever. So this is healing already really good strong AoE. So when you need more wild growth, definitely. And just keep casting them on the cooldown. Try to empower with movement, and if it's burst healing, follow it with cooldown. And let's then take it all together. There's a lot of information, a lot of spells, a lot of explanations, and let's try to put it on one big ball to how to heal with the druid. We have fly spread. We are not thinking about it anymore. We are putting flies on the cooldowns. They are there. They are happy little flies. We are happy too. After the flies, we are applying Life Blooms and keeping 2 Life Blooms up and keeping circles under the group. So we have flies, Life Blooms, and circle. That's our basic, but we should be always prepared with the druid. But then we are casting Regrowth and Rejuvenation, mainly to put it on Life Bloom targets. So it's Life Blooms are blasting of blooms. That's good for single target, also for AoE healing from the circle. And nice to use clear casting when you have it, if everybody have hots. Because clear casting we are getting from Life Blooms, and we want to have it on. So if you have clear casting and you still have healing over time effects on Life Bloom targets, stuff like that, but you have clear casting, and you cannot have 2 stacks, so just use it to heal more, it's free. Why shouldn't you use free spell? Really, just use it. So now we have flies, Life Blooms, circles, we have Rejuvenation and Regrow hots. On the life... Come on. Rejuvenation and Regrow hot on the Life Bloom target. And only what is remaining if you are casting Wild Growth empowered by Swiftment, even with more AoE heals, and spreading Rejuvenation if you have nothing else to click and we still need to heal more. A little bit single target log on the end. You can use Swiftment also on the just single target healing, and you don't need to use it with wild growth when you really need to pump single target. That's a really good example is third boss in Uldaman that is putting bleed on one target that target needs to be healed absolutely fast. So obviously we are preparing hots, but if you don't have time, stuff like that, it's best to put Swiftment. That means a Soul to Forest at 150 increase healing. And we have Nature Swiftness that is best used with the regrowth. And that's another 100. Bam. Huge regrowth. It's 250% increased. So, Swiftment, single target, viable, eat it. You can even empower it even more. Let's keep healing just a little bit extra. Single target definitely needed on some encounters when single target is dying a little bit more than others. And you don't need AoE. Because otherwise you should just cast it, empower with the wild growth, and that's, you know, it still heal. It will heal even that target. And it will be extra out for the life blooms, so that single target will be even increased. But from AoE, it's a little bit funny in the Druid. Well, let's hop on the cooldowns down. Let's start from our most important cooldown in M+, it's Flourish. And what we are doing with Flourish, and what is Flourish doing, increasing duration of our HOTS. That's nice, because you need it a little bit longer when it's heavy damage. But even more important is 100% increase healing, or rather, every heal is 100% faster. So it's a huge boost for our HOTS on the targets, our healing over times. And this is our definitely first to go ability that we need to do. Some burst healing. Even a single target is worth it, but usually we are using on AoE. And just pump some regrowth on single target, but yeah, it's viable on single target. Best to use on AoE. And when you are using on AoE, you know, you have flies. You should have flies spread, you should have life bloom spread, you should have some HOTS on the life bloom targets, maybe some rejuvenations prepared if you really need to. And then what do? You click Swiftment, you got Empowered by Growth, cast that, and after that by Growth cast, Blast Flourish. And I think the Wild Growth still have it. Yeah, healing started high and declines over duration. So when you extend duration of Wild Growth, it's a huge profit, because his healing will jump quite high. So the more duration that have, the more it's a healing, so think about that. Then we have Convoke. If you are not using for damage, we are often using for damage, but I'll skip that part. I will talk about that during the damage part. We are using as a replacement for Flourish, and our most hope there is we are hoping we will get our proc of Mini Flourish. What is Mini Flourish is just same as Flourish but shorter duration. And even now with Flourish we have a huge bonus from Force piece, we are getting extra effect. And that Mini Flourish I was trying, testing it, is giving less duration than 60 seconds. But it's still nice, just extra Flourish because then we have another 30%. And what will a little Flourish do? Mostly will extend our HOTS, that will help a lot. Most extend help is on Wild Growth, that's the best thing that can extend. And obviously it's casting random heals, so we are hoping for good RNG. So it's a replacement of Flourish, is a little bit less cooldown, but it's still a good thing to just to do everything prepared like for Flourish, but you don't have it ready. You're blasting Convoke, and it's just 1 minute cooldown, so you can use it really often as a little big healing cooldown, depend on RG. If you have nothing prepared and we really need to heal fast, we can try to do that. And maybe we are lucky, we will get good spells, but it's recommended to have something prepared before we use Convoke for healing. But you can try it. It's RNG, so who knows what happened. Maybe we will heal good. When you don't have prepared, one target is dying, there will be like 5 regrowth on the target. Who knows? RNG. We have also Tranquility, not as huge in Impasse as in Raid. Still nice heal, but don't think it will carry your burst AoE healing. It's just some extra AoE healing too. It's not costing much mana. How much? 9,000. It's doing way more healing than 9,000 ability should cost. But there's also 20% defensive and immunity knockback when you're casting, so you can. Here's the talent. You can use it, and we have 60% cooldown reduction. That's 2 minute cooldown. So don't really use it for boost healing, but it's nice for AoE healing. Its healing is increasing over time as you're casting longer because you are giving more and more stacks. So think about it to start casting it like 2 seconds before damage comes. It's not exactly when damage comes, so it's a little bit more prepared. And that's all Tranquility. Just remember, it's not as good as Flourish or Convoke, so don't think, ooh, I will have Tranquility, I will heal AoE, I don't need anything else. Not really. It won't carry you. So, I don't know, think about it more about defense 20%. That's about AoE cooldown. But it's definitely, if you don't have Convoke, if you don't have Flourish, just prepare these live bloom targets and everything I should, and then cast Tranquility. But before the damage, because during the damage you probably need to use some regrowth, because your healing will be even lacking with Tranquility. It happened to me a few times. I was thinking, oh, I have Tranquility, I don't need to use much other abilities. No, Tranquility was not enough. So I rather start to precasting a little bit sooner, even 3-4 seconds sooner. So I'm just finishing cast when the damage, AoE damage burst coming, and it's just extra healing there. And I don't care about first stacks. So even when we need to burst healing, think about even precasting it, like for duration. Because there's 2 stacks, we are still casting, we have 3 stacks, and we have 5 stacks here. So when we finish casting, then we should start burst healing so we can cast better abilities during that time. Or Rejuvenation is not a really good example of better abilities, but I hope you get it. And definitely, we need to cast Wild Growth. It's much better AoE heal than Tranquility, because we are not casting it for seconds. How long? It's not really showing. I just forgot to check how long is cast time. Never mind. Good thing, but not very strong, so don't count on it. Next vow is Nature Swiftness. We usually want to use this a bit regrowth. It's also for rejuvenation, but entangling the roots. You can use it on the roots, but the best thing to use it is on regrowth to make it instant, to make it 100% stronger. It's just fast spot heal. If somebody is dying now, bam, the fast heal. As I was showing, it's nice to follow it with Smithment when you are healing single target. Also, you can use it for combat rest to cast it instant. If you need to run at the moment, but you can cast combat rest slowly. It's not so long, 1.5 seconds, something like that. Where is it? Do I have combat rest on bars? Yes, I have. 1.5 seconds. You have time for that. So usually, yeah, spot heal, faster single target. And the last one, it's Innervation. Innervate is not increasing our healing. What it's doing is saving our mana. Druid is a little bit worse on mana in that way. It can happen you are preparing for some huge AoE damage, but the damage didn't come. So you heal nothing, but you spend so much mana for preparing for that. And that's where is Innervate nice to use. Usually damage is coming, and usually the damage will come. In most bosses, damage is coming and stuff like that. You just blast Innervate when you're starting preparing for the huge AoE. We are starting spreading. I don't know if Live Bloom is good target. How much mana is costing? 4,000 mana. I'm usually not casting of Live Bloom. Then I blast in my target, sorry. Then I blast Innervate. I have clear cast, so this doesn't really matter. And I'm spreading Rejuvenation on as many targets. And come on, I couldn't eat that. Oh, because that was hot. And just try to squeeze as many abilities out there. But simple use of that is just use it on cooldown, and when you need to heal a little bit more, it will be still good use. You will save some mana. But yeah, best used is when you are preparing for AoE damage or is doing that AoE damage. And also one good use is regrowth is costing a lot of mana, and if you will be healing single target a lot, it's nice to just put Innervate in or spamming regrowth, because look at my mana. We are already 20% down from few seconds spam. So that's also quite cute use. And that's all from healing. I hope that will help you a lot. And I hope it doesn't make sense. Or it does make sense. I hope for everything. I don't know. Let's talk about damage. Druid is not really the favorite hero to take for damage, but I think it's potentially there. Let's say it that way. So when we are doing damage, our focus is when group is stacked, starting with the AoE obviously, and it's not usually a stun is just pulling it together. We are spreading single targets, so we want to keep these two dots on the target, usually all the time. Often when I need to heal a lot, I'm just putting Sunfire because there's, I don't know, 10 enemies in the pack, but I need to heal a lot. Sunfire is the best choice because it's AoE, so I'll just one click and I have damage, quite good damage, 24k. That's from one, so these dummies are always showing something bad numbers. Come on, show me. Oh, it's overall. Yeah, it's nice. Few thousand, like, yeah, depending on criticality or something like that. Why is Sky Rising? Yeah, because these dummies are stupid, that's why. Yeah, because combat ended and it's still doing damage. That is counting as in combat. But I guess that's 15k, free damage just when you press one button every... how long? Every 23.5 seconds. So that's definitely worth it. Then you're spreading more fires. Its targets like 5 is worth to just spread them. Then you're blasting Starfire. You have enough target. Like 3 targets, I think is worth it. On 2 targets, I would cast Silverrat because damage is less, but it's much faster cast. So we have HUTs. Both of them. Starfire is AoE, single target is Vrat. If you have talented Star Surge, just blasting on cooldown. Don't use it in very big packs, obviously, then you're casting Starfire, so this is more single target, but it's still 32,000 damage, just 1,500 mana. Sunfire is 6,000 mana, so it's really mana effective, and it's 10 second cooldown, so when you see cooldown on some damage ability, you know it's doing a little bit more damage than others, so it's nice to click on cooldown. And if you have the kitty one, just put it right there and do some combo points in the cat form too. That is usually good for single target. I don't like kitty, so I don't play. I like Star Surge rather, but for tyrannical single target you can really pump to spread the HUTs there, use the Star Surge, go to the kitty, put bleeds on the target, get back to the druid. And that's, rotation is not something very special on druid, but there's 2 important parts. The druid doing damage, and let's talk about them. The first part is Nature Swiftness. Yes, Nature Vigil. Sorry, Swiftness is another ability. Does this mean 20% of our healing done? Even overheal counts too. So when everybody's full, you can use this for damage and just overheal like a beast, and that healing is going to damage. And it's for 30 seconds, so it's really long. It's 1.5 minutes cooldown. What other ability have 1.5 minutes cooldown? Flourish have 1.5 minute cooldown. And what you are doing when you're clicking Flourish? You are healing like a beast because it's a huge cooldown. So I have it even here. It's best to put macro together. And when you click Flourish, you will click Nature's Vigil. Nature's Vigil is not taking global cooldown. So you can click it at the same time with the Flourish in one macro. Both abilities will get used, and your passive damage income. So you can even think about that. Oh, I need to start spreading. Life Blooms should be there. Start spreading another extra HUT on the Life Blooms targets. Prepare the Bite Growth, empowered by 50% of Soul of the Forest. Then Blast Flourish. Everybody's full anyway, but you are doing damage with that. You'll do, I don't know, 600. That's usually my average per one use is 600 damage. That's for healer, 600 damage. Yeah, count me in. So this is our huge pump, and it's nice to macro it. If you don't want to macro it, just really try to use it as much as possible. Obviously, when you are also healing, or just start healing because you use that spell, that's also a thing to do. Another healing pump you can do, it's Convoke. Convoke is obviously, you can use it for heal, for damage also. It's not that easy to choose which one, but it's a little bit easier for energy when you are in a cat or monking form. You are doing much more damage abilities than healing one. If you are in no form, you are doing much more healing abilities than damaging one. So definitely for me, I don't know if it's better in cat or oval. I guess matter on your preference, but I'm using oval because I like oval much more. And I cannot say if cat is doing more damage with the Convoke, I don't have experience because I like Full Moon and I like shooting stars in all form. So I'm always using for damage with all, so just change your form to Moonkin and Blast Convoke. Most of the double is this, your way damage. Hopefully. RNG is still RNG. Also, good thing to do when you're just spreading hots around, you know you don't need to heal. Just be in all, it's 10% your spell damage increase. So, and you can cast Life Bloom in that form, you can cast Regrowth in that form. You can cast... There was one more ability, I forgot. I think it's Fifth Mount. Let me see. Yeah, you cannot do that. What if it was? I know Life Bloom is working and Regrowth is working. Oh, the flies. Yeah. And Life Bloom flies and Regrowth will keep a lot of targets alive. So you can spend a lot of time in Moonkin. Instantly you are healing your damage by 10%. Obviously, when you are healing through UI, you don't need to click take my form out to use some other abilities. You just click the abilities and you lose a Moonkin form. So you're not losing time to start healing from other abilities because it's automatic. You're not losing global to just click out to form. Oh, you're not losing anyway. I don't know last time they changed it. I didn't play Druid for quite a long time. I'm playing it a lot because I love Druid time. So anyway, that will be all from the guide. If you want to see it in text form, probably the healing part is quite messy to understand it on first listening. I have everything I said right now, I have it in text form on my Discord. You can find Discord under the video. So you can check guide there, to just read it again. Maybe there's some extra information I forgot to mention. Or like, I just said it better in text because I had more time to think about it, like now. Otherwise, check that. Dungeons, I was playing with the Druid. You can check what abilities I'm using there. So you can see how the Druids work in the action, what I'm doing in different situations. And I hope you like it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Think about subscribe and goodbye.